to de-stress before the final verdict.
A little bit apprehensive about this one, more so than the last one. I mean, I have done quite a lot of preparation in terms of being able to make the modelling and the children's learning move on. I've kind of developed these mission cards. These basically are a way of giving the children their individual learning intentions. Okay, this relates to our learning journey. We've got where we're going to start, the finish line, and these are our hurdles that we'll get over. But I've actually taken this literally. You'll see how it all comes together during the lesson. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Claire Gillies is back, and it's crunch time. With all that expert advice and weeks of practice behind him, will Steve have made it? From good to outstanding.
Let's go.
100, 200, 300.
At the end, I will start to reflect on what was it the teacher was doing that made those pupils learn, that helped those pupils to enjoy learning, that helped them to want to be absorbed and involved.
Who's ready for the dots?
Yes.
Right, ready?
Yes.
Halve it.
What was it? Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was it? 5. Right. What have we been doing this week? Sylvester?
Money and real life.
Money and real life. At the end, on our finish line, we're going to have a party. What are these?
Hurdles.
Right. What sort of hurdles are we going to try and get over to get to the end? Rav? Addition. We will be looking at adding, won't we? Okay. We're thinking about adding. What sort of language will we be using? Total. Why is everyone saying, ah? He said it right.
Yeah.
That's it. I tell you what's really worked for me is I really like the idea of moving the success criteria. Making the children aware, giving them ownership of what we're aiming for, the finish line, the journey.
I think the finishing line is good because it's like a reward for us. And it's like we've done all that work and then it's like there is no point of just doing it for nothing. So I think we should get a reward.
If you have a quick look on your desks, you'll have your mission cards. What I want to do today is to use many of the skills we've been learning throughout the past week to try and accomplish your mission. Would someone from this group like to read out their mission?
You are responsible for the cakes, juices and ice cream. You will write a list calculating the total.
I think the mission cards work really well. That's a good way of differentiating the learning according to ability, so there isn't just one set learning intention. Okay, what's 4 5s? 4 5s? 4 times 5? 20, okay. What's 4 times 6? Right. And then 4 times 8? Right.
I could understand, like, you had to work out the price for 30 children because you were times them, but I didn't get the dividing bit.
What were the main operations that you guys used here? Addition. Okay. What were you guys doing over here?
Multiply and take away.
It's a little bit challenging, isn't it? Yes, it's challenging, but we need to keep going, okay? Right, it is tricky at first, but what will it get? Easier.
If I look at the lesson as a whole, there were some really super features there. Some of which I spotted last time, and some of which have sort of emerged this time. And there were some things that didn't quite work, that it was so ambitious.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
And I mean, it's wonderful to have
High
super
expectations,
challenge and high expectations and all that, but perhaps it was almost just too much. Just looking at some of the specific strengths of the lesson, we got off to a lovely start with just the simple getting our hundreds, tens and units clear in our mind and linked to the body movements. I just wondered whether we spent perhaps a little bit too long on the whole idea of the hurdles that we face, which is obviously brilliant for them to see that in coping with money in real life, because I think it then meant you slightly had to gather pace when introducing the different work for the different tables, and just adjusting the balance. Would that have perhaps got us off to a more flying start?
For me and for them, I think we're embedding this idea.
I love the idea it's hard and it gets easier.
Yeah, and I think as we progress, you know, for another topic, I'll use the same format, and we'll both get quicker at it.
This one here, I thought that by the stage of getting 7 packets of jumbo crisps for £1.25p was going to give them real, because they couldn't really work out what 1 packet cost. That challenged them quite a lot. You were expecting really high levels of thinking, and the compliment to your teaching and your rapport with them is how hard they worked. And that spirit of having a go, keeping going, is not something you can possibly generate in one lesson. You've generated that over time. So I don't think we can say the lesson was outstanding, but I think if we couple your definite outstanding skills with some really interesting developments in the relevance and, you know, how you're presenting materials, you're close to that, and I'm certain you're going to be hitting the outstanding lessons on many occasions. Thank you very much again for letting me share that lesson.
Thank you very much for coming to see us. Thank you. 2 things I'd take away is make sure lessons relate to the real world. Put it in context, bring it back to the maths world or literacy world, whatever, and then back to the real world. That's really important. And another thing I'd take away is don't go against the grain, your natural style. I think you gradually implement new ideas. If you try to shift too quickly, it just doesn't work straight away. And things don't happen overnight. And not every lesson can be outstanding. It's 3 things.